people? LP2000 right back at you with another video. Yes. Welcome back to another edition of Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews on behalf of Collect All Monsters. And do I really need to give an introduction to this guy? Oh God, this thing is glorious. Let me get that out the way right now. This thing is amazing. It is awesome, brilliant, spectacular. All the normal adjectives and descriptions I normally give when it comes to these pieces. And this one is definitely no exception. It is all that and then some. Yes. So y'all click the title, you know exactly what and who we're covering here in this awesome resin model kit review. So let's dive head first into this awesome resin model kit review. And today we'll take a look at the 40cm KOC Tokyo resin model kit of the 1999 Godzilla. Yes. The awesome rendition of the King of the Monsters from his two epic films that started the awesome Millennium series, Godzilla 2000 and Godzilla X Megaguirus. And as you can see, I have the beautiful model kit in all his glory. And again, it's a beautiful, awesome model kit. Let me just say this right now to get it out the way. In my opinion, the most accurate representation of that design of Godzilla in a collectible form that you will ever find. Trust me when I say that, and you'll find out why that is true as we get more into the review here. But yes, that's who we're covering in this video today. Now, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to two special people for making this video happen. First and foremost, Mac. He is a great kaiju kit enthusiast and builder and collector. He owns the Galloping Ghost Arcade in Chicago, Illinois. He also recently started a new business, Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo, where it specializes in creating model kits of characters that we don't see a lot of in the kaiju collectible world. And spoiler alert, I did get a few kits from him recently, and they will be on the channel like in the near future. That's all I'm going to say about that. But again, thank you to Mac. I was able to get this kit through him. And of course, Mark Sang-Yang. You know, the guy needs no introduction, but you know, you have heard his name on my channel many times before. One of the greatest, most talented builders of model kits in our hobby right now. Not to mention, you know, that he also comes up with awesome, one-of-a-kind, custom-made statues or custom-made pieces of kaiju characters. Again, his work is amazing. I've contracted with him on so many different occasions when it comes to model kits and custom sculptures, and he's done a wonderful job with this sculpt right here, at least the paint job right here. So again, thank you to Doc, and thank you to Mark for making this happen for me. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the KOC 40cm resin model kit of the 1999 Godzilla. Pretty much the last 40cm kit that I have not gotten to yet in video form. And I want to apologize for that, because I know I've been wanting to get to this review sooner rather than later, you know what I'm saying? But things just came up and I was not able to get to it sooner rather than later, quite frankly. But better late than never, as I always say. Again, this is my fifth KOC 40cm kit. You know, aside from the 54, the 62, the 64, and the 55, this is the last one. And I got reviews on pretty much every single KOC 40cm kit on my channel. Again, the 54, 62, 64, and 55. And this was the last one that I need to get to. And I'm glad I'm finally getting to this kit right here. You know what I'm saying? Now, we're not going to go into the back packaging or anything like that, because again, I got the the model through Doc, and he sent it off to Mark Sang-Yang. He built a paint for me, and I got the kit basically in pieces. I put it all together, so it doesn't come with like any artwork or anything involving the packaging or anything like that. That's not really what's important right now. It's the model kit that's what's important. And the backstory about this model kit is, again, when I first got my KOC 40cm 64 kit, I want to say late 2021, probably late summer 2021. That's when I kind of lost my mind and kind of went more into the model kit thing. Because ever since, again, late summer 2021, I've been getting more into the model kits. You know what I'm saying? Because again, model kits offer different editions of characters that a lot of the companies may not touch for legal reasons or whatever. So there may be some kaiju that X Plus or Prime 1 or Omega Beast or anybody out there that's not gotten to yet for legal reasons or whatever the reasons are. But yet there's always seems to be a model kit of that character. And after I got the KOC 64, again, I kind of lost my mind. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do the whole model kit thing. And when it comes to KOC, again, this is 40 centimeters tall, and he has done basically 5 of them. Again, he started with the 54 in 2019. He came out with the 64 and the 99 in 2000. Can you imagine that? Coming out with one awesome kit in the 64 in 1 year is awesome, but come up with another one, the 99, 2 in 1 year? I haven't seen that much awesomeness since Toho put out two awesome Godzilla films in 1964, Ghidorah and Mothra vs. Godzilla. So I kind of equate KOC coming out with the 99 and 64 within the same year of 2020, you know what I'm saying, to that. That's so awesome, you know what I mean? Then a year later in 2021, they came out with the 40cm King Goji. And late 2022, we got the most recent one, which is the KOC 40cm 1955 Godzilla. And again, I got this kit through Doc Mac. He was selling some of the kits that he had in his inventory. Now, the first kit I did ever get from him was the Monster Maker 2875 Godzilla. Again, that kit is amazing. In my opinion, the most accurate representation of the 75 Godzilla that's out there in kaiju collectible form. You know what I'm saying? Now, when he sold me the 75, he also had this one up for sale. But this one was a little bit more expensive than the 75. And I only had money at the time for one of them. So I opted to get the 75. And I told him, like, look, if you still have the 99, maybe 3 or 4 months down the line when I get myself together financially wise, then I would take the kit off your hands. He was like, cool, you know, whatever. Then maybe 3 or 4 months later, in 2021, he still had it, which is surprising to me. Because, again, this kit is so amazing. In my opinion, the most accurate representation, suit accurate representation of that suit of Godzilla. And the fact that nobody was able to get their hands on it, or at least that figure was not snatched up by the time I wanted it, was really amazing to me. It's kind of like a blessing in disguise, if you will. So again, I got that kit through him late 2021, and I had it sent off to Mark Sang Yang. He got it to me, I want to say early 2022. And here it is, late summer 2023, I'm finally getting to this guy. But again, as I said, better late than never. And when it comes to the KOC 40cm kits, again, I am so loving these kits because, as I mentioned, you know, when I got the kit, it came to me in pieces. And that's kind of like a game changer when it comes to these kits. Now, I know I explained that in my prior KOC 40cm Godzilla kits, but it's worth bear repeating here that basically when you get the kit, you get it in pieces. Like in the tail is one piece, the body is one piece. I think his hands are 2 different pieces, and the alternate heads, as well as each individual dorsal plate, which I had to basically install by hand because, again, when it comes to the 54, 64, 62, and 55, his big main row of dorsal plates come in one big piece, right? But this one was different, where basically every individual big dorsal plate, where it's the big main ones on his back in the middle row, as well as the smaller ones on the side rows, each individual dorsal plate had to be put in by hand. Because again, I didn't want to have Mark send this kit to me, you know, fully intact because it is resin, and sometimes it may come damaged, you know, during transit if you do send a model kit fully intact, quite frankly. That's a cool thing about the KOCs, because each individual piece comes in a big styrofoam box, and pretty much every major compartment, or at least component of this piece, if you will, comes in like in its own little slot in the box to protect it from damage. You know what I'm saying? And once I got my hands on it, you know, I just put it all together, and there you go. Again, the dorsal plates, it took me a little while to get that together, quite frankly. I had to look at, you know, the fully painted model kit on the KOC's website and decipher which dorsal plate goes where, you know, whatever. But after like an hour and a half, I was able to put it all together. But again, that's how I got my hands on this model kit of the KOC 40cm 99 Godzilla. And when it comes to 99 Godzilla, honestly, I don't talk about this design enough, quite frankly. When it comes to the Millennium series, you already know I'm high up on GMK. You know, I love GMK. That's my Lord and Savior right there when it comes to the Millennium series. But I have a huge love for the 99/2000 design. Like, I love this design so much. You know what I'm saying? I have a few collectibles in my collection of this design. And up until I got this guy, you know, X Plus put out the 25cm 99 Godzilla, which was a stunning figure. And I take nothing away from that figure. It's about as accurate as you can get, quite frankly. It's not the best in the world, but it is great for what it is. Or how about the 30cm 99 Godzilla? You know, I have the Rick one that came with the red colors on his body, and his mouth open and closes, and it comes with the light up gimmick on his dorsal plates. That figure was amazing, quite frankly. Or how about the Godzilla 99 version 2 that came out through Diamond? And that figure, ironically, it came from KOC. That is based off a KOC sculpt of an original kit of that Godzilla. That figure is amazing. But when you have this one, those kind of fall behind in the dust. You know what I'm saying? Because it looks like that, again, this is sculpted by the great Akira Ibaraki. That's basically sculpted the other 40cm KOC kits, right? And again, the suit design was originally designed, or at least made, by Shinichi Wakasa. But it looks like Akira Ibaraki took the sculpt of that suit and just shrunk it down to this. Because this is actually so suit accurate. It is amazing beyond belief. And when I come in my room and I look at it, I want to put this thing higher in my favorites of KOCs. But you already know when it comes to my favorites, it goes as follows. The 64, 62, 99, I think 55, and then 54. But don't sell this thing short, because this thing is amazing on so many different levels. Now, that's the backstory how I got this model kit. So let's get up close and personal with this guy. Again, the sculpt is flawless. The sculpt is so amazing. Again, it looks like Ibaraki just shrunk the original suit down and made it into a 40cm model kit, as you see here. But the attention to detail on Godzilla's skin looks absolutely amazing. It has the traditional trademark tree bark like skin when it comes to like maybe his thighs and his chest, you know, whatever. But when you get towards like his back, going towards the awesome looking dorsal plates, you have more ridges on the skin. You know, it's more pointy or whatever, which is another thing. With this being resin, when it comes up against the other one, this one's probably more delicate than the other 4. Because of the pointy jaggedness of the dorsal plates, his tail is elegant. You know, it's going upwards. There's pretty much points and sharp edges all over the kit. Not to mention his teeth, you know, whatever. So you might, if you do get this kit, you might need to be really extra careful handling this kit, because again, it's so pointy, it's so unorthodox, you know what I'm saying? Like, really, when you pick it up, use 2 hands, because you don't want anything to pop out or anything like that, because the figure is held together by magnets, you know, whatever. But again, I took the extra precaution like I done with the other 4, with applying some super glue to put basically the majority of the kit together. The only thing I don't have super glue on is basically the heads, because there are times I want the head to display with his mouth closed and his mouth open. But, you know, I applied some super glue to his hands. I glued in the tail. I glued in, again, every individual dorsal plate, which took an hour and a half. So doing that really ensures the stability of the model kit itself. But going back to the sculpt. The sculpt looks amazing. Oh my God. Again, the skin is awesome. It is just, again, attention to detail is flawless in my opinion. The sharp claws look great on the figure, as well as the sharp toes that he has, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like clown shoes, kind of like reminiscent of the Heisei in a lot of respects. So I like the attention to detail when it comes to the sculpt of the claws on his toes, on his hands, you know, whatever. Looks really, really good. Going back to the tail looks amazing, and it really is a stark contrast to the other 4, because the 54, 64, 62, and 55 has his tail going upwards and then going down and straight outwards, which makes them more of a shelf hog on your shelf. Now, don't get me wrong, this one's a shelf hog too, but you kind of like have less space because his tail is going upwards, you know what I'm saying? But again, I actually like that. I actually like that the tail is not like the other 4. You know, it's different, you know, with his tail going upwards and basically making him, you know, pop out the same height as the figure itself. I actually like the sculpture of the tail going in this direction. Looks elegant in my opinion. Again, the dorsal plates, each individual dorsal plate, you know, from the small ones to the big ones, you know, or whatever. That's the thing about this Godzilla. I actually love the dorsal plates of this Godzilla. If you ask me, what's my favorite thing about this Godzilla? And that's kind of hard for me, because again, I love this thing so much. I could talk about the fangs in his mouth. I could talk about the head sculpt. I could talk about the eyes, the claws, the toenails. But I'd probably say his dorsal plates is like my favorite thing about this design. I just love just the exaggerated, just in a way kind of menacing, pointy, sharp dorsal plates, daggers, if you will, on his back. You know, it just adds more character and makes this design really, really distinct. Again, when you see the dorsal plates, you know exactly what Godzilla that comes from. So I like the dorsal plates here, and the sculpture of each individual dorsal plate, from the big one, at least the small little shark-like fins on his head that gets bigger with each individual dorsal plate. It looks really, really good. Man, I can't speak enough about the dorsal plates. They are so awesome. It makes the work of me putting them all individually in, you know, that much more worthwhile, because this thing looks great. You know what I'm saying? Now let's go towards the head. You know, the head sculpt looks great. And again, go back to the upper and lower jaw. I actually love that distinct feature about the 2000 Godzilla, or 99 Godzilla, I should say, is that, you know, they gave him an extra set of fangs. You know, you have a fang, then like two smaller teeth, then another fang, two smaller teeth, another fang. And I actually like that, you know. And now it's obviously the ones on his upper jaw are bigger in comparison to the lower jaw ones, but I actually like that they gave him extra fangs, make him look more ferocious, you know, whatever. And, you know, the ears are sculpted really well behind the head. The eyes are sculpted really, really well. Overall, the sheer sculpture of this design looks really, really good. And probably one of the main reasons why I love this design so much, aside from the fact that it looks great by itself, that I look at this design as like a spiritual successor of the King Goji. When you put this thing up against the King Goji, there are obviously similarities here. With the 99 Godzilla, obviously they wanted to create a Godzilla that was really distinct and make a Godzilla for a new millennium. They did all of that and then some with this sculpt right here. He looks so different, but you still see the classic Godzilla within him. And he looks so similar, in my opinion, to the King Goji, especially the way the head sculpts are between the two, or whatever. The dorsal plates, the way the suit is kind of like big when you look at it from a profile shot. Again, I look at this figure as like a spiritual successor of the King Goji. Kind of like I look at the 84 it's like a spiritual successor to the 64. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it, quite frankly. You know what I'm saying? But again, the overall sculpt of this Godzilla is absolutely amazing. Now, let's go towards the paint job. That's where Mark Sang-Yang comes into play. And he did a phenomenal job when it came to the paint job. Now, I had a few options when it came to the paint job of what I wanted with this Godzilla. There were a few that I could have chosen from. I could have chose the one where he looks all red on the awesome poster, the promotional poster of Godzilla 2000. I could have chosen that look. I could have chosen how Godzilla looked in the movie of Godzilla 2000, where they have somewhat of a darker, greenish, purplish, dorsal plate look, whatever. But I opted to go for the Megaguirus, the paint scheme. Now, mind you, it's the same suit between both films. Yeah, it might be modified a little bit here and there when they got to Megaguirus, but those are really minuscule differences. Pretty much it's the same suit, design-wise. But in Megaguirus, you see more daytime shots, and you see Godzilla actually look more true greenish. Like the overall paint scheme of the suit looks brighter in Megaguirus, where you see more of a true green with the skin and the pinkish purplish dorsal plates. You see it more so in that film versus 2000, or whatever. So I opted to go for the Megaguirus look because between the two films, it's no secret, I actually love Megaguirus over 2000. That's why I wanted the Megaguirus look here, quite frankly. He's done a great job with the super green texture of Godzilla, whatever. Probably the first ever, yeah, he is the first ever live action Godzilla that was truly green. Because that was a popular misconception back in the day before King Kong vs. Godzilla came out, that Godzilla was actually green, but he really wasn't. Now, the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla was green. They got that right, whatever. Before it's like live action, he's always been like charcoal gray or dark gray or light gray or whatever the case may be. Bone white, yellowish dorsal plates. But we're here with Godzilla 2000, or the 99, I should say. They gave him a true green look. And I really do like that. The color on his teeth look great. Again, the teeth look so amazing. Even like the shading, the highlights, or the dark shading when it goes to the base of each individual tooth. Actually like that. The mouth is colored really well. The eyes are colored really well. Again, the claws on his hands, the toenails look really, really, really good. Again, the dorsal plates look absolutely phenomenal. Again, he did exactly what I asked him. In my opinion, this is the Godzilla from Megaguirus. It looks exactly like the Godzilla from Megaguirus, and he did a phenomenal job. So sculpt-wise, paint job-wise, it is absolutely perfect in my opinion. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is, of course, is the fact that you can alternate the heads, which I really, really, really enjoyed. And again, this came with the 64, the 55, and the 62. The 54, unfortunately, didn't come with the alternate head. But you have this alternate head here where you can exchange them at will. And when you put on each individual head, it is seamless, you know what I'm saying? And and whatever head you're not using on the model kit itself, you can use it on this stand here to have basically a better presentation versus just having it laying anywhere, you know what I'm saying? It is propped up like a display piece. That's exactly what it is. But again, the way you can alternate the heads is absolutely amazing, no different than the other three that I just talked about. And again, between the two, I normally display this Godzilla with the mouth open. Pretty much the only one that I displayed display the Godzilla with his mouth closed from the other three is a 64. You know what I'm saying? I think Godzilla in that incarnation of Godzilla looks better and looks more menacing with his mouth closed. But the King Goji, the 55 as well as the 2000, I prefer him with his mouth open. But either way, if you choose to go the closed mouth route, he still looks amazing. You know what I'm saying? Open mouth, closed mouth, it doesn't really matter. So paint job wise, sculpt wise, again, this is, in my opinion, the most accurate sculpt of the 1999/2000 Godzilla that is in collectible form. And if you want one, I would highly suggest go on eBay or maybe go on Mandarake or go on Buyee or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's impossible to find one, because I was able to find one way after the fact through lucky circumstances, if I'm being honest. But he's still out there. I know my great friend Marcellus Winters was able to get one. I know a couple other people that was able to get one. So he's out there. You gotta put the work in and try and find them. Or if you want to go on the KOC's website, they actually are reintroducing this kit, but they're doing it in a smaller scale. He's not going to be 40 centimeters. He's going to be 28 centimeters, which is almost 30 centimeters. So even though he may be a little bit smaller than this guy right here, he is still going to be a good size, and it's going to pack pretty much every single detail about this into a 28 centimeter scale. The only thing you're losing is size, but again, the dorsal plates, the sculpture of the model kit itself, everything you get in that compact 28 centimeter size. And I think they're still available on the KOC's website. So if you're unable to find the 40, I highly suggest you go after the 28. Either way, if you want an accurate representation of the 99/2000 in your collection, look no further than this guy right here. Yes, yes, yes. So that's it with the backstory, up close and personal, the alternate head, the paint job. Again, the sculpt, again, flawless in my opinion. And thank you to Doc and thank you to Mark for making this happen for me. Now, let's do one and just one size comparison, because I don't want to drown the figure review in size comparisons. Again, I have a huge love of the design of Godzilla, you know what I'm saying? And when it comes to the movies, again, you already know, 2000 I'm kind of like, but I absolutely love Megaguirus. And I actually love collecting figures or collectibles of this design of Godzilla. So let's bring them all together in the size comparison and see how those Godzillas stack up to this Godzilla in its one and only 1999-2000 Godzilla comparison. So let's do that, ladies and gentlemen, right now. Okay, folks, here we are with the first and only size comparison, or should I say the 99/2000 Millennium Goji size comparison with pretty much every single collectible of this awesome design of Godzilla that I have in my collection. Yeah, I'm a fan. I told you I'm a fan. Oh, God, and now having all these together really just, this is great. There's no other way to describe it. So let's go from left to right. In the far left corner, I have the X Plus version 2 of the 99 Godzilla that came out through Diamond Distributors a few years ago, several years ago, I should say. Of course, next to him is, of course, the man that hour, the KOC 40 centimeter 99. Below him, that is the X Plus 25 centimeter standard edition of the 99. Below him, that is actually the Death for Real Rick exclusive edition of the 2000 Godzilla from Megaguirus. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Of course, the alternate head, you already saw it earlier. Above him is the X Plus Gigantic Series Rick exclusive edition of the 2000 Godzilla, but that's actually the maquette version. It wasn't the suit accurate version that actually made it into the film. Next to him, there is the 30 centimeter Rick exclusive edition of the Godzilla 2000, but that was the Rick exclusive edition, again, that had the red light up gimmick in his dorsal plates and had so much of a reddish color on his body. That figure was really meant to symbolize the poster version of Godzilla from Godzilla 2000 that I mentioned earlier. And below him is the Rick exclusive edition of the Death for Real Godzilla 1999 from Godzilla 2000. As you can see here, this is a great comparison. Oh my God, this is so great. You're probably wondering how would I rank them. I don't know if I would rank them. I would tell you my top three. I would go with that. Number one would of course be the KOC. You already know that. That would be number one. Number two, I probably would go with the 25 centimeter. And number three, probably it's a toss up between the gigantic X Plus one as well as the 30 centimeter. That's tough. I probably would go with the gigantic Series X Plus, because I do love the dorsal plates on that one. And speaking of that up against the 40 centimeter KOC, again, as you can see, they're roughly the same size, you know, whatever. And that kind of falls into two camps that I've seen as a fan on Facebook and talking with various collectors and fans in our hobby. That there are two types of fans in this world. Those that love the suit accurate version of the 2000 and those that love the maquette. Some fans believe that the maquette should have been used for the final film of 2000. There are some fans that can't stand the suit accurate design of Godzilla from Godzilla 2000. There are some fans that prefer the suit accurate version over the maquette, whatever. I tend to fall into the camp where I actually prefer the suit accurate version. Nothing against the maquette. It's just, it don't do it for me. It doesn't really do it for me as it does for a lot of people. So I actually think they did the right thing by having the suit accurate version appear in the film as we saw it, whatever. It's still a bit interesting to see if they did use the maquette for the final film. But if you put both of them in front of me, I prefer the suit accurate version. But either way, you're not wrong for feeling how you feel when it comes to this awesome design of Godzilla. I think we all can agree, whether it's the suit accurate version or the maquette, it is still an awesome and amazing and super distinct epic design of Godzilla, especially for the King of the Monsters debut for the new millennium. You know what I'm saying? So that's it with the size comparison. Again, the only size comparison. Again, why don't you pop down in the comment section. What is your favorite out of these 2000 figures? Is it the KOC? Is it the X plus 25 centimeter? Is it the gigantic series version? Is it the Death for Reals? Let me know, and then we can go back and forth in the comment section. But again, I love them. But the cream of the crop, in my opinion, is the KOC. There's no question about that. So let's go to the final commentary portion of the video. My final thoughts of the 40cm resin model kit of the KOC Tokyo 1999 Godzilla from its epic appearance from Godzilla 2000 as well as Godzilla X Megaguirus. So let's do that, ladies and gentlemen, right now. Okay, I'm back with my final thoughts of the resin model kit of the 40cm KOC Tokyo 1999/2000 Godzilla from its epic appearance from the super cool 2 First Millennium Godzilla films, Godzilla 2000, as well as Godzilla X Megaguirus. 10 out of 10. This thing is flawless. There's really no other way for me to describe it. This thing is absolutely amazing. Oh my God, the sculpt is perfect. The paint job is perfect. The alternate heads are perfect. Everything about the design, at least this sculpture right here, just screams perfection. And again, in comparison to the other 99/2000 collectibles I have in my collection, again, the S Plus Gigantic Series maquette is awesome. The 25cm S Plus 99 is awesome. The 30cm, even the Death for Reals. But again, this one, in my opinion, is head and shoulders above the rest. And I am so happy to have this in my collection. Again, I feel kind of bad because this could very easily be my favorite #1 KOC 40cm kit, you know what I'm saying? But I have so much of love and nostalgia and admiration and acknowledgement of both the 64 and the King Goji, which is why he falls in #3. But if the 64 and King Goji didn't exist, and thank God that doesn't happen, he would definitely be my most favorite KOC 40cm kit in my collection. If not for anything involving GMK, let's say the S Plus Gigantic Series GMK, he would probably be my favorite collectible from the Millennium series as a whole. But he's up there. He's definitely in the top 3 and top 5. And again, it is so perfect. And if you can find one for a good price, again, that's easier said than done, but it's not impossible. If you put the work in, you may find, a kit out there in the wild, whatever. If you can't find the 40cm, again, I think the 28cm on the KOC's website right now. And again, just get the kit. And we have so many talented artists that you can contact in our hobby that can build and paint this thing for you. Mark Sang-Yang, Marcellus Winters, David Epdotco, Burley Bain, John LeGrand, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. So just get the kit, and I promise you, especially if you're a fan of this design, as well as the movies that he appeared in, you owe it to yourself to get, in my opinion, the quintessential, the absolute most perfect representation, kaiju collectible form of the 1999/2000 Godzilla in your collection with the KOC 40cm as well as the 28cm. You know what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to the 99 Godzilla, again, I wish I'm more vocal for my love of this design like I do GMK. In my opinion, GMK and this design is like 1A and 1B. Even though GMK is my top favorite, this one is nipping at its heels every time I see this design, especially every time I see this rendition of Godzilla. And when it comes to the Millennium series, Even though I admit I have not been too kind with, like, let's say the last three movies of the Millennium series, but I do enjoy the Millennium series as a whole. And I think if you were to ask a casual Godzilla fan or just a Godzilla fan in general, what is the first design they think of when it comes to the Millennium series? And I will almost guarantee you that they would either say one or two designs, GMK or maybe the 2000 here. With all due respect to the Kiryu Gojis as well as the Final Wars Gojis, those designs were really cool too. But I think both GMK, more so maybe the 99, really epitomizes the Millennium series as a whole. And I will admit that even though I have not been too kind to the Kiryu films and Final Wars, I do believe that the Millennium series deserves a lot more love than it does get. In my opinion, I kind of look at that series of films, even though I do feel like there's something missing with a good majority of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, my top two is GMK and Megaguirus, you know, or whatever. But I do feel like even though there's something missing with those films, I do find those films really, really enjoyable. I especially enjoy the premise behind the Millennium series. That basically each individual film, maybe with the exception of the Kiryu films, were basically their own isolated singular stories, kind of like Shin Godzilla. It just jumps off the 54. Now, Shin Godzilla didn't jump off the 54, but basically every single individual film in the Millennium series jumped off the 54. And basically Megaguirus, they basically retold the 54, where they showed this Godzilla design amongst the 54 Carnage footage, which I thought was a cool thing. But again, I do love the Millennium series. I think the Millennium series in a way is kind of like Showa 2.0. Right? I think when you look at the Showa series, where it pretty much had continuity issues all over the place. You know, there's some films that have some continuity, some good continuity, I should say, but then there are some films that don't, and it don't really flow well together. The Heisei series had an established, awesome, great continuity. Each film flowed into the other one. But I like how the Millennium series, again, it did something different aside from the Showa and the Heisei series, where each individual film is its own separate thing. And I really do enjoy that. But I think the Millennium series also combines what was so great about the Showa series and the Millennium series. What I see in the Millennium series when it comes to the Heisei series is like the suit designs. Like, there are some great kaiju characters and kaiju suits in this era. Godzilla 2000, GMK, the GMK Baragon, Kiryu, Final Wars Gigan, Final Wars Anguirus, Megaguirus, Orga. Oh my god, the creature designs are absolutely great, and I think that's where you get the Heisei type of influence there. The Showa part is the fact that, again, when you look at the Millennium series, a lot of their stories are really like over the top and really have that Showa type of feel to it. Not to mention, they brought back a lot of monsters that we have not seen since the Showa period. That's why I kind of call it Showa 2.0. But again, I do believe, and I don't want to go into long form with this, because I plan on going into long form about the Millennium series on Collect All Monsters. But I'll finish this off by saying this. I do believe that the Millennium series deserves a lot more love than it does get. And maybe it's going to take some attention. Maybe it's going to take some awareness. Maybe it's going to take a catalyst to get people more involved with the Millennium series. And you know what? I think I'm going to do that. But again, I think if you were to ask a casual fan, what is the Godzilla you think of when it comes to the Millennium series? Which Godzilla best represents the Millennium series? I would say GMK, but I would also say more so this design. Because when I think of the Millennium series, I immediately think of this design, and that's how awesome this design is. Yes. But we'll go into the Millennium series at some point on Collect All Monsters in long form. Maybe I'll reach out to Monster with Attitude or Kaiju Live or any of my great friends out there who may want to join me on that discussion. But that discussion is coming. The love and admiration and why the Millennium series deserves more love than it gets is definitely coming on Collect All Monsters. I'll let you know when that happens. But until then, if you can find this design for a great price, find this collectible, if you will, for a great price, please, you owe it to yourself to go after it. Again, especially if you're a fan of this design and the moves that he was a part of, don't hesitate. Just go after it, contract with the artists we have in our community, and you will have yourself, in my opinion, the most accurate, perfect representation of the 99/2000 Godzilla collectible in your collection. Yes. So that pretty much concludes my review of the resin model kit of the KOC 40cm 1999/2000 Godzilla. Yes. From his epic appearance from the two super cool films that kickstarted the awesome Godzilla Millennium series, Godzilla 2000 as well as Godzilla X Megaguirus. If you have any questions, comment down in the comment section or hit me up on Facebook via Lesbian Chambers. We definitely will go from there. Yes, this thing is so amazing. Again, the final KOC collectible, at least KOC kit, that I was able to get to. Again, I'm sorry for being late with this review, you know, whatever. Again, this thing is so amazing. Quite fitting that, you know, this is the final KOC review on this final year of Leslie Chambers College Reviews. Is kind of fitting in that regard. But I want to get this video out before December comes, because y'all know come December it's going to be a wrap when it comes to this channel. So that's why it was really important to get this thing out, because this thing is really amazing. Again, this is one of my top most favorite collectibles of Godzilla, at least my top favorite Millennium collectibles in my collection. There's no question about that. So again, if you can find a 40 centimeter, or maybe you can get your hands on a 28 centimeter, either way, if you're a fan of this design of Godzilla as well as the movies he was a part of, you owe it to yourself to go after this quintessential piece. There's no question about that. Yes, yes, yes. So let's keep the model kit coverage going. In the next video, we're going to tackle the awesome vinyl model kit of the 30 centimeter Roto Kaiju awesome rendition of the epic robot that beat the crap out of King Kong on top of Tokyo Tower in 1967's King Kong Escapes, with the deluxe edition of Mechanicon. That will be the next video on Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews, and I can't really get that out for y'all, so please stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, get this guy. Get it. You will not be disappointed, and that is an understatement. Yes, yes, yes. So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see y'all again on next Figure Move Review. All right, y'all take it easy. Oh, there's one last thing I forgot to ask y'all. You like post-credit endings? Post-credit scenes? Yeah, you know you do. You know you do. Well, stay tuned to the very end of the video, and I think you'll like this one. All right, now we're done. Bye.